Good evening and welcome to the Standards of Geekness podcast, your weekly Monday night show. Unlike Dwayne, we show up to do our jobs.
That's right.
Tonight we're going to be discussing quite a bit. Daniel's going to join us here in a little bit. We've given him the link, so he will follow up with when he can. He's in England, so you guys have to remember there's a 5-hour time difference. Yeah, there was a lot that happened this week. Everything from lighthearted, jovial to downright cringeworthy to actually shocking.
hmm
Um, I guess let's start off with lighthearted before we dive into negativity and mediocrity.
I'm down with that. I'm down with some positivity, Evan.
Yeah,
It-
so
it-
go ahead.
well, I just think it was a rough weekend for everybody. Like, okay, I said I want to start off with positivity. I hope everybody had a great Easter. I hope everybody had a great 420 for those of you who celebrate the uh, the hashish holiday. And I hope everybody did overall like WrestleMania. And before we get into it, I do want to say that overall, like if I have to put it all together, I did like WrestleMania.
Yeah, uh, I would say overall it was probably a solid 7.5 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, it was a solid
Full,
show. It wasn't necessarily everything I wanted in a WrestleMania. I think that the fact that it is WrestleMania plays into that a bit more. We expect a little bit. We have higher standards for WrestleMania.
yeah. Um,
But
you know, th-
there's somebody else. There was somebody else this weekend who had very high standards, Evan. There was a young man who made his way to the WWE convention ahead of WrestleMania with a birth certificate for Rhea Ripley to sign. She did sign it. That means she's his mommy, and I think that's awesome.
yeah, I don't know if it's actually legal, but it looked like a real birth certificate. If I had to guess, it's probably a mock-up one printed online. But it was an adoption certificate, which, for those that aren't familiar, when parents adopt children, that's part of what they have to sign off on is an adoption certificate. So it was really interesting, kind of a heartfelt, heartwarming moment. It sees the positive impact on the weekend like that. And I mean, that wasn't the only positive thing on the weekend. We got to see Lex Luger inducted into the Hall of Fame. He's come a long way. He's able to stand up on his own. He's went through his trials and tribulations, and he seems to be the better for it. So that's heartwarming to see. DDP, man, props to DDP. He's literally revolutionizing the way that WWE legends handle themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
It's going to be a sad day when DDP enters that big Royal Rumble in the sky. But until then, he's going to rehabilitate every single wrestler. Okay, real talk. How long until he makes it so Kevin Nash can get into the ring again without breaking a hip?
I think Nash could do it now. He's had his knee replacements. He's had his hip replacements. He's in the best shape of his life. I've been listening to a lot of his podcast, and when he lost his son, his son I believe it was a little over a year ago. He's gone through his trials and tribulations too. And like I know we joke around here about how he tears his quad every time he gets in the ring, but I think DDP can help him with flexibility and movement. I wouldn't surprise me if he's already doing it. I know Austin's already doing it.
I just we've seen a lot of the '90s guys come back for one more match, one more run. I think Kevin Nash is one I'd love to see have one more match.
Yeah.
That's just me personally. I was a big
Honestly,
Kevin Nash fan back in the day.
it wouldn't
I'll admit
shock
it.
me if Shawn Michaels actually did DDPY. You know, not even for the one more match thing. I think it would just be something where I could see him doing that. Yeah, I mean, and overall, it looked like everybody had a blast. We'll get into our WrestleMania recap in a little bit, but surprising breaking news that happened in spite of a lot of negativity, even coming out of WWE this week. And I know we don't typically cover AEW given the way they've handled their booking, and we've been AEW surpassed Nitro this past week, so that was a huge milestone for them. They've officially been around longer than Monday Night Nitro was. So we saw a lot of negativity from the WWE camp. Nick Khan. Um, we've seen, and I'm not going to get into the political situation. Roman Reigns. If you know, you know. You've seen him. Those who know how to feel. But yeah, despite all of that, WWE had a huge announcement. I believe it was late Friday evening before the Hall of Fame ceremony. Probably, yeah, it was pre-SmackDown, I guess would be the correct way to frame it. They bought AAA down in Mexico, the Luchador promotion down there, probably the number 2 promotion in all of Mexico. Might be number 1. I haven't really watched AAA in probably a couple of years. I know a little bit, but shocking news. El Vikingo, we saw him pop up at WrestleMania. He's been on AEW before.
This just goes to show the influence that El Grande Americano has had in the world of wrestling today, bridging the gap between AAA and WWE. And honestly, I really hope that we end up with a really established cruiserweight division out of this. Like, that's one thing that WWE I don't think has ever done well, is have a cruiserweight division. It's like the thing that WCW always had over them. It's honestly the thing TNA had over them. And with a number had over them. It's honestly the thing TNA. Yeah, catch up, Daniel. Catch up with what I'm saying.
You're late for work. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. Interesting enough, AAA's heavyweight champion of the world right now is Alberto Patron. For those of you who don't know, that is Alberto Del Rio, former WWE name. I'm just going to throw this out here, my idea. Not only do I create a cruiserweight division down there, I have El Grande Americano go down there with American Made as the top heel faction.
I would be down with that, but I'd like to see some footage come back up and be put onto the main show then, if that's the way that they're going to do it. I mean, low key, El Grande Americano is one of my things that I am kind of enjoying on the undercard right now, and I think that that's an important thing to keep. Is a really well established undercard. There's a lot of main eventers in WWE, but they can't all be in the spotlight at the same time. And those guys that pepper the lower part of the card, they're really crucial. A lot more than some people think sometimes. I do not want to live in a world without R-Truth. I'm just saying.
Definitely agree with you there. No, so what I think, not only is this a great business decision, because Triple H's long-term vision has been to open NXT brands all over the world. He wanted NXT Europe. He had it for a while. NXT UK, NXT Mexico, NXT Japan. Well, with their relationship with Marigold, their relationship with obviously not AAA, 2 of those are a possibility. The interesting thing that also happened this past week was that Tetsuo Naito and Bushi are both leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling. 2 long mainstays with New Japan Pro Wrestling. It would not shock me if New Japan ends up selling out to WWE within the next 5 to 10 years. Think about it. And the thing is, it opens the global market to the WWE style. It really surrounds AEW, because New Japan's like their last big partner, and the partnership they have with TNA going strong. It also opens up opportunities for the stars on WWE's platform to get themselves out there, get over in other areas, get more experience, get better, and vice versa. It offers people in those markets the ability to come to the U.S., learn the U.S. style, learn the U.S. presentation. There's opportunities abound there. I have to say, bravo to the WWE team for that acquisition. I mean, it's going to make tons of money. Like, people love Lucha.
Well, after this weekend, I think it is really. I think WWE is in a really good place to kind of say, hey, Work with us. We'll make your stars even bigger stars.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's a really easy statement for WWE to make right now when you look at the trajectory that that Joe Hendry has had.
Yeah, with TNA, and WWE every time they've had someone from TNA come over, the TNA person still looked like a star. Like a lot of people were bitching about Orton versus Hendry, which we'll get to our opinions on in a little bit. It was great exposure for TNA yet again. They were still treated as a star, albeit as more of an entrance pop kind of star. But
I think
AEW never did that when it came to TNA's talent. They never did.
That's really, really true. Yeah, I'll talk more about that when we get to the match.
Yeah. Dan, what are your thoughts on AAA being bought up by WWE?
I definitely do think it's an interesting move. It's definitely that you're trying to, like you said, trying to corner the market or trying to build that NXT brand, which I think is what they want to do. Do I think they'll change the name? I don't know. I think there's a lot of history there with the AAA name, so why would you want to change it? But I can understand they want to market it worldwide and have it underneath one banner.
Well,
Well,
I think it's simple. You just, you take it and you still have the AAA logo, and then you put NXT presents AAA.
Yeah.
Or AAA presented by WWE or something like that. It's a very simple thing. There's a lot of brand recognition there, a lot of rich history.
It definitely feels like an arms race between AEW and WWE between these partnerships.
WWE seems to be circling them in. Like, if I'm being fully honest, like WWE's got the WWE ID program.
Yeah.
They've got, which is the Indies. They're targeting the Indies. They've got their relationship with TNA, which AEW already did, and they burnt that bridge. They've got the relationship now with AAA.
They got New Japan.
And AEW is still working with New Japan, for now.
No, not New Japan. Sorry,
Miracle.
All Japan. That's it.
There's All Japan people that they've worked with. I believe they've more recently worked with Noah. Shinsuke went over there and for the Great Muda's retirement match.
Yeah.
But it seems like AEW is getting circled in, and it's kind of their own doing, in my opinion.
And here's the thing,
man, there's so many cool things that could arise from WWE, like actually having a foothold in Japan, though. I mean, could you imagine an established WWE wrestler entering the G3?
Oh, that'd be fantastic to see.
Put Dirty Dom over there.
No, I would personally put Charlie Dempsey because he's always done stuff in All Japan. I think he'd be amazing in New Japan.
We said stars. No offense, William Regal, to your kid. We said stars. Charlie's still down in NXT, still proving himself.
I'm talking like what would happen if Seth Rollins entered the G3. There you go.
Send Tamatanga.
I hate to say it, but send Logan Paul.
Even though he's banned from Japan?
I mean, that would be so much heat.
No. They could work something out there. That's why, the heat would be incredible. It'd be great.
I mean, I don't think any Japan
I'm not saying he's going over there as just like a podcaster anymore. He's going over there as like a representative of a huge company, multiple huge companies. Like, I think he'd be on his best behavior. I think he'd have somebody watching him to make sure he was on his best behavior.
I mean, considering he now pulls his mum with him a lot of the time, so I'm surprised he's always on his best behavior.
Honestly, it popped me so hard when I saw that video clip of where you could hit Dominic Mysterio and Logan Paul's dummies with chairs. Seeing Logan Paul's mom grab the steel chair and hit the dummy with the chair was hilarious.
Good stuff.
You can tell she loves her son, though. Really, you can tell he's definitely a mom boy.
Yeah. So next up, Karrion Kross, Killer Kross. Wow. he shot a promo today on the Fanatics WWE post WrestleMania show out in Vegas, head of Raw. Very shoot-esque. It seemed like a work shoot to me, but
what is it with Karrion Kross always doing his best work when he is not on TV? How the fuck does that keep happening? It's like every time he does his best work, it's always
you gotta
like,
put him on TV. You gotta give him some fucking airtime. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Karrion Kross has been giving like virtually nothing to work with other than being like this like voice in the ear in the background of promos. He hasn't been actually featured. When's the last time Karrion Kross had a match on Raw?
voice not since the White Six, and that was in a 6-man tag, then like 3 or 4 man.
yeah, no, it's a long time ago.
Has Karrion Kross had a match on Raw in 2025?
No,
If it was after the Netflix special.
it probably was.
Yeah, I don't think he has. I really don't.
Well, they have not. Karrion Kross in NXT was presented just like he was in TNA as a killer, slightly differently. There's a larger presentation to it, but he was killer. He had the look. He had the ability to deliver a promo. He's always had a good promo.
And he was also intimidating, and the wrestlers felt intimidated around him.
Actually, a former E-Fetter. So he's always had the ability. He's just never been given the opportunity. Like that promo, everybody likes to joke that Adam Cole destroyed him in that promo. Yeah, that set him back a little bit, but then they bumped him up to the main roster after he lost that program with Adam Cole.
And they gave him the mask.
They gave him Spartacus 2.0.
And it's not only they gave him the mask.
That was a Vince McMahon thing, but like I don't think that was enough to like kill your career. It's not having any time to if you don't get any TV time, if you get no time for personal exposure, then you're dead in the water. Like if I don't know, if I don't see your character, I don't remember your character, you have no part in any storyline, I'm not made to care about your character. This isn't a Karrion Kross problem. This is a WWE problem. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, and Karrion Kross, he was part of Lucha Underground. Send him down to AAA. Let him lose down there. Honestly, I'll be honest. I'd like to see Karrion Kross be one of the next Paul Heyman guys.
We got a lot to say about that tonight too.
I think I don't think he needs to be a Paul Heyman guy. He's a good talker. He's got a presence behind.
I was joking, Daniel. I was joking.
I thought you were actually.
Brian knows I was joking. No, we know Karrion can talk. He needs to be given the opportunity, and they've been slowly doing it, but like. They were almost to the point where
Karrion Kross can talk. That's probably the biggest qualification at this point for being a Paul Heyman guy. The way they've been going.
And here's the thing: I want to bring up this little thing because
Tell me when I'm telling lies. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
I don't want to bring up this thing because I know it's something that's not really being talked about, but I think it's something we do need to talk about eventually with this faction coming back with the White Six. Is it time to end it? Is it time to kind of put Ray's idea to bed? Like it does this have
to do with the White Six?
I just think, well, what we know,
that's not what we're talking about, though. Like we can have that conversation at a later point, but we're talking about Karrion Kross right now.
No, but I was going to say to involve it. I feel like that feud those two had with each other, it damaged everyone involved, and I think.
That's because of shitty booking and injuries.
Yeah, I think, Dan, I think the thing you're forgetting right now is that there's a looming injury that is holding back the entire White Six group. They're being put on hold right now. It's not fair. It's not the same situation as Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is perfectly healthy. He could have a match tonight.
Yeah. Homie snapped a baseball bat with his bare arms and legs. Like, he's good to go. And like, I honestly think they could give him a good feud. Honestly, with the promo he cut today, I'd be looking at trying to position him to work his way up to fight Jay. I think he'd be a good heel to bring some more intensity out of Jay.
I mean, a feud between him and
That's
Jacob.
interesting. I was actually going to say, I would kind of like to see a program with him and Jacob.
I was
The
gonna
way
say,
that Jacob has been kind of turning babyface just through his own natural charisma and everything. I think that you could put Karrion Kross behind on the other side of that. Karrion can carry the promo. Jacob doesn't really have to as much. And then Jacob, when he does talk, it's that rough, hard style promo that comes back, which is a direct contradiction to the kind of promo that Cross cuts. I think the two of them could have an amazing U.S. title feud.
and that's what
I
I was
think
gonna say. Like,
I think so too. I think they honestly probably need to build Cross up a little bit more, give him some wins under his belt, like actual wins. Stop. I think they need to stop trying to put him in factions for a little bit too, because let him and Scarlett just be like an ominous threat that hangs. Like make them the WWE Sting, where they're hanging in the fucking rafters, just working.
I think they should bring back his old gimmick where he was just a pure destroyer and then just looking to cause absolute carnage and has like a little,
I mean, it's what he's doing now. His gimmick hasn't really changed. His gimmick's good.
I mean,
It is fire.
There's tons of ways you could go with him. I could see him being put into a tag team with Finn Balor, and that getting over. No, I'm serious. Their styles, you think about it, their styles actually mesh in a tag team.
Yeah,
I'd have to see it.
And then it just feels more like bad luck Farley, and
All right. Well, you know what? WrestleMania was 87 hours long. We've only got a 2-hour show tonight. We got to get through these matches.
All right, guys. Yeah. So our WrestleMania recap. Well, we did the math with our predictions last week. Your winner, yours truly, Evan James. I got 20 points. I had the main differential here was I had the triple threat from night one, correct?
It was 2 matches. It was only 2 matches.
I'm saying like 2 points, 2 matches.
Yeah.
Because it was the main event from night one, and then it was the Fatal 4-Way.
Now, I want to make sure that everyone understands. The 3 of us were in a chat all through both nights of WrestleMania going, wait a minute, you just changed the damn match. How do we score this?
Yeah, and I think we kind of just considered those a wash.
I will say I'm quite impressed with me back in EO. It was a risky move, but it paid off, and I'm so glad it worked off.
Well, apparently your mind works like a demented Triple H's mind too, apparently.
I still can't believe that.
So, yeah, let's just jump into night one. Kicked off with Jay versus Gunther. Wasn't the best WrestleMania match of all time. I do think having Gunther tap out was a tad too far. I would have just had him pass out.
That would have made him look tougher.
Just it wouldn't have. It would have made Jay seem a little more dangerous. It would have made Gunther a little more protected than just.
Yeah,
because there's a size difference between the two too. Like it's not like a nothing size difference.
Okay, real quick. This was the first thing that I noticed about this match, and I don't know if this hit you guys the same way that it hit me. Jey Uso, he's the challenger coming into this match, gets a Triple H fucking level entrance. And then Gunther comes out as the champion, and you're like, what? Like that? I just felt like Gunther's entrance was so toned down compared to Jey. And I understand that. But you could have had like a big choir doing the singing the song or some shit like they did with John Cena. You could have had just like a ton of people lining the entranceway, all like stoic. Like there's a lot of things that you could do still, and I don't feel like Gunther as the champion, got the recognition as champion just from his entrance that you would expect for the champion to get. That's all I'm saying.
It says a lot. I mean, it's not just for that. I think it's been his entire run as the World Heavyweight Champion. It's just been okay.
Yeah, okay. The World Champ is coming out, and it's basically a standard Raw entrance. The challenger came out with the fucking Raiders cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
I mean,
it shows that.
I've been hit or miss on Gunther's entire title reign. When I went and saw him live in Grand Rapids back in June, that promo segment that he did with Damian, I thought completely ruined his credibility because, like, Damian made him a stuttering, stumbling little bitch. And I'm just like, okay, how are they going to fix this? They've managed to have him talk a little more eloquently and a little more confidently, and they fixed a lot of that. I think there's small little nuances, and I think the beautiful thing about Gunther's characters, it's not reinventing the wheel. He's kind of a traditional 1970s style heel. Minus the, some of the flamboyant stuff you saw then. This was a serviceable match. I just, for me, it was probably a solid, 6 out of 10.
Yeah, and it kind of annoys me because we all know what Gunther is capable of when he is put against an opponent that can really match him. And it's like, you just felt like it was always missing that second gear for his entire title reign. It's just missing that second gear just to push it up to it. And it's just like...
truth be told, after he faced Damian, he didn't have anybody to really work with outside of Jay.
Yeah, Gunther versus Drew, Gunther versus Damian, like those are big guy versus big guy kind of matches that like he would have ate up. Honestly, I don't understand after the CM Punk program was over why you didn't transition into a Drew McIntyre versus Gunther program. Like I think that would have been more successful. I think you could have made. I mean, Drew has that kind of cool heel energy that you could turn it into a babyface very easily without like changing hardly anything about his character.
Yeah, I think that works beautifully.
And I think, I also think, it kind of WrestleMania as a whole. If you look at the card, I think it really says a lot about. Gunther, I don't think was ready to be world champion. I don't think he was ready to be put into the position he was in. I think he's still a little too young. That's not to say that he's not a phenomenal talent or that he wouldn't get there in another year or something. But his rise from NXT to the Intercontinental title to the World Heavyweight title, like, you got to give it a little bit of breathing room, and WWE hasn't done that. And that's why at the end of the day, you have main eventers like Jey Uso and Gunther, and then you have the real main eventers that are actually main eventing the show, like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
I mean, I think we should kind of talk about like where we think these characters will be post obviously Mania, what we think they're going to be doing. I mean, I don't know where you take Gunther from here. I mean, you can't really put him back in the IC title scene, can you? I mean, is that just a bit of a...
I think you just have him in a blood feud.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you need to... You don't need to make it harder than it already is.
If I was WWE, I would have Gunther have a breakdown. A week later, I'd have him come back, and I'd have him back to being full confident, and I'd say, I took a week to think about it, and I realized why I lost. I realized what the real problem was, and he'd look at Ludwig and beat the shit out of him. And I'd go into a Ludwig Kaiser versus Gunther
match.
Yeah, program. That's the word I'm looking for. Program.
I mean, it would be quite a good addition to add Ilya Dragunov, but I don't know what they're going to do with him when he comes back. I mean,
the problem is
if you brought Ilya Dragunov onto the side of Ludwig Kaiser, at least that would even those odds a little bit and add to some story that could then get into some of their NXT stuff. But I think Gunther needs to be away from the world title for a while. On the other side of it, with Jay, given the Heyman heel turn, which we'll get to in a little bit, I think what you do is you have Seth take the title off of Jay.
I was going to say.
And you work it into Jay or Seth versus Roman at SummerSlam.
Yeah. And it sucks because Jay, you can tell he's worked his ass off, but we've seen what we talked about.
I'm not saying he needs to lose it tonight. I'm saying he can hold it for a couple of months, but in 2, 3, by mid-June, drop it to Seth.
I know, but I'm just saying, it feels like you could tell he's worked his ass off to get to this position, but the booking has been so horrendous. The fans don't even believe he is world champion too, and that says a lot. When, they
disagree. I disagree. Yeah. The overall fans love Jey Uso.
I mean,
he's moving merch. People are reacting to him, whether it's positively or negatively. I think if he, adding a sleeper move to his repertoire, nice touch. I think if they can add small little nuances to his style, people like Jey Uso. They like the energy. They like him. People believe in him. That's what got him to the Royal Rumble win. We can't dismiss
Evan, wait a minute. Okay. If I'm going to give you a couple of wrestlers versus Jey Uso. You tell me who you immediately pick as the winner based on everything we've been presented. Jey Uso versus John Cena.
John Cena.
Okay. Well, that's fair. He's the other champion. Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes.
Jey Uso versus CM Punk.
CM Punk.
Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns.
I actually think Jay should get the win there.
Based on history, I agree with you. Dude, look at the shirt I'm wearing. I was there. The night he should have won. I agree. Okay? When the storyline is right, I 100% agree that overcoming the odds should be the case. But if the guy just is always overcoming the odds, then is it really the odds? You know what I mean? And then it calls into question the credibility of every other guy who actually is a bigger, better star on the roster. Jay is still built like a mid-carder. Yeah. He doesn't have the upper body that most of the upper card has. He doesn't have the flashy moveset. Dude is still doing a body splash as a finisher.
Yeah. I think he needs to move away from that. I know Eddie had that as a finisher for a while.
Well, Eddie had a frog splash.
Yeah.
At least it had a little bit of flair to it.
Yeah. And I want to give Jay the benefit of the doubt, let it flesh it out for a couple months to see where it's at. Moving on, so we all picked Jay there. We all also picked the New Day. This match was
New Day,
and kind of unexciting. It was the right result.
But none of us got our Big E pick, and that makes the baby Jesus cry.
Yeah.
That's how you know Big E is a true heel. He didn't show up to turn heel at WrestleMania like we wanted him to, making him an even bigger heel as an overall.
No, but instead he did spoil.
He's probably sitting on Dwayne's plane waiting to take off.
No, but he did spoil Rusev coming back, which everyone kind of knew, but the fact that he said it out loud, I'm like,
literally in Vegas. They're probably gonna be on Raw tonight.
Yeah, but at least just to keep it.
Jade Cargill, all three of us picked Jade Cargill to defeat Naomi. that match was serviceable.
Yeah.
So Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight. We all picked Fatu, but that was a really good match. Like
Good match. Really good. First really good match of WrestleMania right here. These guys went out there with the intention of stealing the show. Nice job, gentlemen.
And they did. There was a sick sequence where like Fatu like headbutted LA Knight off the rope.
Yeah.
And I never seen that, like the way Fatu uses his size, he's fast for a big guy.
Yeah.
He uses his speed, his size, he uses his fucking head like when we used to see Haku headbutt somebody and they fucking get
Yeah.
You know, and I like that, like he was selling for LA Knight. It helped really add credibility to LA Knight in his defeat.
Yeah, that was the thing that I was really worried about going into this match, was that Jacob was just going to drown LA Knight in every way, because that could have happened. But Jacob really did a lot to put LA Knight over, make LA Knight look like a star, and because of that, honestly, I'm kind of hoping for a rematch at Backlash.
I was gonna say,
I think we do get a rematch. I think Fatu ends up winning, but I think that's where we see Solo Sikoa do his turn.
That'd be cool. I'm down with that. I'm down with all of it. Like that match. That's your. I want. That's a 4.5 star match, right there.
That's actually what it was given on most sites, was 3.5 to 4.5 stars.
That's decent.
El Grande Americano defeats Rey Fenix. So last week we gave our predictions. It was supposed to be Rey Mysterio. We just decided, since they're both Reys, we'll still.
They're both Rey.
I actually, Dan, didn't you pick Rey Mysterio?
No, I all three picked Grande, didn't I?
So we all three picked, because we had a lot of the night ones all the same.
Night one was pretty much all the same, except for the main event, I believe.
Yeah, and then it was a solid match. You know, they had, it was a lot of high flying action. That 450 reverse. Shit, I'm blanking on the name of the move because I've been up since 3:30 this morning. Basically, El Grande did this like sick 450 splash, reverse splash. It was like ridiculous. The spot with El Vikingo, I think that's where they're heading for the AAA launch. Send El Grande down there, have El Vikingo and him go at it in a feud for the title for a while.
I will say that would be fucking amazing to see. I want to see that so bad,
dude. El Vikingo might actually be the best luchador of all time in terms of actual lucha ability. Like, it's ridiculous how he's able to invert his body and do all those like sick twists and flips. It's like he's fucking playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater with his fucking body.
I mean, I've been hearing some people saying he's the new like Juventud Guerrero. I'm like, is he really that good? I mean,
I can see that. Like, he might be a slightly more athletic Juventud Guerrero, which is saying something. And then we all picked wrong with Tiffany versus Charlotte. I'm glad I was wrong.
But
I am so happy to be wrong. I am fine with losing the point on that one. Man, I didn't think WWE had the balls to break away from original plans. And that's clearly what happened here.
You know, and I want to go, we all did say eventually, like, you know, we want Tiffany to win. We want her to win, but
you still picked Charlotte with the rest of us. That's what matters.
Yep.
Come on!
Yep.
If I picked Tiffany, if I really backed it myself, I could have just tied.
Then we'd have a tie, Daniel. And then we'd have to have a tiebreaker.
Promo battle.
I can do this. Bloop. Bloop. And then main event, I picked Seth Rollins. Dan, you picked Roman Reigns, and Brian, you picked CM Punk.
Yep.
So Seth Rollins ended up going over.
But I was close. I was very close.
How are you close? Wait, how are you any closer than I am? I want to hear this logic.
Well, the reason I say this now.
But Paul turned on CM Punk before he turned on Roman, so therefore.
So The reason I say I was close because it looked like, to be fair, it was gonna be Roman winning because of Heyman helping Roman. And obviously, we saw Punk got turned on first. Right, I get it. But it did look like for a second there, it might have been just a. You might have think boring finish, but it would have been an exciting finish for me. Until obviously we got the low. We got the low blow, and yeah, obviously, then my prediction went very, 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 very wrong.
Daniel, I don't know if you've heard this before. Being close only fucking matters in horseshoes and bullshit.
Hand grenades.
You
Hand grenades.
and hand grenades too. You can't be. You're probably one of the guys that actually bets on wrestling on the online booking things, aren't you?
Here's what I'll say about it. Okay,
So fucking smooth.
I agree with Evan that the Heyman like Seth Rollins thing was incredibly telegraphed, and honestly, that's why I steered away from it. We went through the entire card, and through the entire card, we got the Tiffany Stratton match wrong. We got all the other matches right.
Yeah.
And it was a very paint by number WrestleMania. As far as winners and losers went, I don't mind being wrong on my predictions. I like being surprised. But I really would like to be. I was hoping to be surprised here, and that's why I picked CM Punk, because I was really hoping like you're gonna go away from the most obvious thing. I also felt like Heyman and Roman have been together so long that it is okay to switch it up a little bit. That being said, I guess we'll see where it goes from here. But ultimately, at the end of this match, I felt very just like blasé. I was very disappointed because for the first time ever, a Heyman, like something with Paul Heyman, made me think of like a Big Show babyface heel turn. It's happened so many times. It's been the same thing over and over again. And I really kind of want more.
I think that comes down to maybe as fans, though, sometimes we have expectations of what we want to see, and we have to manage those expectations too. And I'm not saying you didn't. I'm just saying, like, I think WWE leans into it sometimes, and sometimes they lean into, well, the fans want this, we don't want this, but they're going to think we want it, so we're going to give them exactly what they want. So my biggest thing with this whole heel turn, I'm fine with it. We all saw it coming. I'm pretty sure Backlash is when we'll see the next person in the Cena Rock component with Travis Scott. You see it, guys? I'm also snacking on some banana bread because I am hungry. So I don't know. I watched this probably like 6 times. The whole ending sequence. It was very obvious, especially once the chair came in. He gave it to Punk. The interesting thing was watching the facial expression difference
I was gonna say
between the two. So when he did it to Punk, it was like he kicked a puppy.
Yeah,
it's the best analogy I can think of. It's like he's like betraying his friend, and he's pained to do it, but it's what he has to do because CM Punk put him in this position, and basically used and abused him. And doing it with Roman, it was like fucking demon consumed his soul. Like he looked like an angry Stay Puft man. And he looked like he was on fucking demon time.
Yeah.
He just like.
I think it's definitely because
the way he looked when he turned on Roman was something that there was a part of me that expected that to happen with Solo Sikoa, with him to turn on Roman and be the wise man for Solo.
I think. Truth be told, I think he's gonna say, because he also had a second home for the longest time. That we eventually was revealed to be hit to The Rock. I think it's going to be revealed that he's been the Rock's wise man this whole time.
Oh my god!
Oh,
It just hit me. Light bulb moment. He's still got the Rock's phone.
Yes.
So that means
you guys? I pay attention to these things.
why don't I find it?
I've been sitting here. Agreeing with you for weeks, man. Like I don't know what.
I know. It's funny watching the wheel spin in Daniel's head sometimes. It's like Internet Explorer for wrestling fans.
It just hit me like it's. I can see it now being Paul and Seth merging with Rock and Cena to be this. Oh my god! It was in front of us the entire time.
Yep, Team Corporate versus Team WWE. Makes sense. Overall, I think night one was a solid 7 out of 10. 6.5 maybe. It's predictable.
The matches were overall serviceable with one true banger.
That main event was good. Like match-wise, quality-wise, for a triple threat, it was good.
It was good, but it wasn't great.
If you've noticed, most triple threats in Fatal 4-Ways never are.
That's true. But I'm all right. You know what? Before you say that, why don't we go to night 2?
I said what I said. I stand on business.
Yeah, I'm about to prove you wrong. Let's get to night 2, baby. Woo!
You notice how I said most, right?
That's right. If you haven't caught on, ladies and gentlemen, night 2 opening match was the triple threat for the women's championship between Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. Now, yes, Daniel's sitting over there, eating fish and chips, all happy because he got Io Sky right on this. Here's the real thing. This match was, I would argue, this was the best match of WrestleMania, both nights.
It was, in my opinion, it was by far and away the best match of the weekend.
And ultimately, when it was all said and done, this was the match that I wished closed the show, one of the nights.
Yeah, and what's funny is because of all the matches leading into this, it was one of the most hodgepodge booking nightmares that we've seen in a while. And they kind of turned chicken shit into chicken salad, and the fans were rewarded. Rhea looked like a star. I've seen a lot of people bitching and whining about Bianca taking the pin. I'm sorry. Not everybody can be undefeated at Mania for 20 fucking years like Undertaker. I'm sorry that your fucking dreams are shattered. Guess what? They prevented themselves from being booked into a fucking corner.
Yeah.
And Bianca's character is going to be the better for her. Because I think this is going to be the catalyst that leads to her turning heel.
Yeah.
I do believe she will be Io for the title at some point. But
I also hate
Bianca needs a character change.
I also hate the
She's
fact
been the
that,
same the whole main event roster run. They had her in the main event for a while. She has 3 really good, matches with Becky, with Sasha, with who was the other one I'm blanking on?
Becky. No.
The thing with Bianca Belair, honestly, is she had an extremely long title run. And anytime you have an extremely long title run and then you come off and you're on the other side of it, people are like expecting you to just have the title on you. She needs to freshen up her character, not just for herself, but for the rest of the roster too.
Yeah.
Yep. We know her as the basically Super Cena of the female division, and at this point it's stagnant. With Rhea, she's gone through character evolutions a little bit, so she's the most popular female star besides maybe Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
I'd argue it's 1A, 1B at this point. And that's mostly because a lot of people are thirsty on the internet.
Here's the thing. I think it's time to turn her heel. I think she's had a long run as a face. People, I think half it is a little bit of racism, but then I think half it is also just because her character is gay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say ignore the racism, obviously, but like
Yeah.
in terms of how she's presenting herself, I think a character refresh would do her a lot of good,
Yeah.
and it would help lead to some better stories. Honestly, have her turn heel, beat Io for the title, then lose the title at like Royal Rumble, Survivor Series in the fall, then have her go after one of the mid card titles, help build that up. And I think that's been the big struggle in the Triple H regime, and it's kind of the problem Vince had towards the end is their mid card is stacked with all this talent, but the title scenes in all of them, save for the IC title, sucks at the moment.
I mean,
I would keep her away from the title. I would just straight go into a whole blood feud with Jade Cargill. Like it really was fucking Bianca. She was always in on it with Naomi, and
yeah, no, I absolutely agree.
Those two can go at it for months and stay away from the title, and eventually Jade can come out on top and go after the title. I'd be down with that.
Yeah. Surprisingly, the Sin City street fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre was a sleeper pick for me. I was excited to see it because I like watching those two work. They delivered that Drew's whole thing of bored at work text tweeting is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, he might just be my spirit animal. Like the right man won. We all picked Drew.
I didn't.
You picked Damian. That's right.
Yeah. Why did I not back my boy? He's from the UK. Why would I not back him? I'm an idiot.
Because you Brexited.
If I picked Tiffany and Drew, I would have right now be the people's champion.
Evan, can you put that graphic up for me real quick? You know the one.
I would be the people's champion, and I would have better knowledge than both of you right now. I could claim I am the people's champion.
But you're not. You're not the people's champion. You're not Evan Jones.
How the fuck did my title? How the fuck did my title go up for grabs in this?
Daniel fucking volunteered you, and you didn't.
I was gonna say because...
so I just went with it because I thought it'd be funny.
Yeah. I think we all,
Man, this is some Tony Khan booking y'all doing over here. What's this?
Back to catering.
Next match.
I can't be ripping on Daniel the whole time. Fatal 4-Way, the IC title.
This was good.
This is the match I think that clinched it for me. I was correct in my prediction with Dominic Mysterio winning the match, beating Braun Breaker, Penta, and Finn Balor. Honestly, this was another really, really good match. Night 2's multi-man matches delivered. The right person won. The fact that he pinned Finn, great storytelling. Carlito getting involved, actually getting in some offense on people was a nice touch too.
Yep.
I still think Judgment Day needs to be disbanded or at least rebranded.
Yeah, and I think it will after tonight. I think Damien, not Damien, sorry.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would lean harder into the Eddies thing.
Yeah.
The Radicals. Bring it back. You own them. You own them. You own it.
Yeah, but no, I think it's gonna be someone from NXT, maybe. Like I think someone from NXT or maybe two.
Thinking about it, like I can't think about. Usually at most Manias we get like a big return. I don't think we really got one this year, did we?
No.
Becky Lynn.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah. Forgot about that. Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. Oh no, and next up is Randy Orton.
Wait, which one are we talking about?
Randy Orton's match. We all got our pick wrong. We all thought it was going to be
Nicholas. Because I got something to say about the Logan Paul AJ Styles.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay, yeah, I thought we said his name and he appeared first.
So Joe Hendry was his surprise opponent. Congratulations to Joe for your WrestleMania debut.
It's funny.
Would be an option.
During night one, I was thinking about the Randy Orton thing, and I actually had the thought. I was like, this is kind of a joke thought almost. Like, what if it was Joe Hendry? And then I honestly thought Hendry was injured.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought I'd remember hearing that he was injured. So I immediately just like threw that thought in the trash. That's not going to happen. So when he showed up at Mania, I was very, very happy. I was very pleasantly surprised, even if it was only a 3-minute match.
It was only a 3-minute match. Hendry's entrance got him a huge pop. That RKO spot was hilarious.
Yeah, just the.
Oh, like it's in, and that's kind of part of the carrying cross thing about WWE being more geared towards viral moments. Which, if you haven't watched Carrying Cross's promo, go watch it. It's really good. Whether it's a shoot or a work shoot, it's really good.
We'll find out if he faces.
It makes him look more believable with what he's saying.
Unless they work it into a storyline, he actually gets suspended.
That'd be the most interesting thing that he's been able to do on screen.
I mean, to be fair, I'm surprised, like, they didn't go with someone like Rusev or even Aleister Black, but then obviously they already teased Aleister Black. And
I think they're saving those guys for a little later on.
Tonight is the Raw after Mania. Raw after Mania is always traditionally is a huge show. I think that we'll be seeing some of those tonight.
Yeah.
Next matchup, Logan Paul versus AJ Styles.
So, not only was this match mid, which these guys are both capable of putting on a much better match than this. Daniel, you can go ahead and close your mouth.
Did not just say this is mid.
No, he's used to keeping it open.
This match was very mid. It was not either of these guys' best work, and furthermore, I have never ever seen someone no-sell their own fucking finisher the way that AJ Styles no-sold his own style. Like, he got hit with the Styles Clash and no-sold that shit.
Well, because it's his.
That makes himself look weaker. Are you kidding me? This whole thing was a train wreck.
I mean, loads of wrestlers have kicked out their own finisher before.
So, on average, this match has gotten 3 to 3.5 stars on every site I've seen. I'm with Brian. That moment in particular completely took me out of the match. I did like the finishing sequence where AJ, they were telling the story where AJ's torn about doing the right thing versus, Cross getting involved. We all picked Logan Paul to win, so I'm happy that I got the point. But,
I think the big thing about this match that makes it kind of a real down point for the whole card. If you think about the whole show, stepping back, the beginning of the show started off hot as shit. We went into the street fight. It was hot as shit. We had the Fatal 4-Way. It was hot as shit. The Joe Hendry spot was hot as shit. This cooled everything off.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I think this match was the definition of mid.
Nope.
You can. It's okay to be wrong, Daniel.
I'm not wrong. I personally enjoyed it.
You should be used to it at this point.
Like, I don't think I've ever been what's the word? Just pleased with a Logan Paul match. They've all been.
Hold on. Wait, Dan. I want to give you the chance to prove yourself wrong. What was the really innovative spot in that match that, and I mean innovative, like new? What was the really new, innovative spot in that match that wowed you?
I would probably say it was probably the.
You see, I'm going to tell you right now, if there was actually one, you would have already had the answer. Next. What was the where'd you go?
He's going to go look it up.
Yeah, man, don't worry.
Next, my next question for you. What was the big story-driven point in the match that made you go, oh? There wasn't one. There wasn't anything in this match that took it to that next level. That's what I'm saying. This was a perfectly serviceable match for Raw.
I don't think this match should have been on Mania.
I don't either.
The fact that this match kind of took the place of the tag titles for SmackDown.
And that right there is a huge sticking point to me. This match shouldn't have been on the fucking show, but that tag team title match damn well sure should have.
Can't disagree. Next up, we've got the women's tag match. Returning Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyrie. Excuse me, guys.
I don't know if I said
Morgan and
anybody
Raquel Rodriguez. So obviously Bayley got injured. SmackDown injured, pulled from the match. We all picked Liv and Raquel to win, and I think had the match remained the same, they would have.
Yeah, I don't know who I picked for this because I just said I don't care.
You picked Liv and Raquel. I went back and watched the podcast. It's hard to hear your own voice.
I think we all agreed that it made more sense to go into a Lyra versus Bayley program, which was why we all made the pick the way that we did. If any of us had been, gone into that with a mystery pick or something, I think we all would have kind of gone, that was a good chance Becky Lynch is coming back.
We all would have picked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, that match honestly was one of the worst ones on the card, in my opinion. It just.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd probably put that at the worst match of the.
And I will say right now, the women's IC title just feels so just.
It's an afterthought.
Yeah.
And the fact that Chelsea Green didn't have a match on this card, also upset.
How? How do you?
She's one of the most over female talents. You could have had her versus Zelina Vega, and it would have been a better match in terms of storytelling than Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. No disrespect to AJ Styles. I don't like Logan Paul. No disrespect to him, even though I kind of hate him.
Yeah. I mean, I do think this year's WrestleMania, there's a lot of matches on the card you can just take off and put on for that.
I would put this WrestleMania as probably the 7th worst one of all time.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't think it breaks the top. It doesn't break the top 5. It's not as bad as, 9 or 27, but it's not going to go down as one of the all-time greats. By any means.
Vegas and bad WrestleManias now. It's like they've been to Vegas now twice.
And I'd put it on par with 36. And 36 had no fans.
And that was actually a lot better somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Well, the last match of WrestleMania weekend.
Here we go.
Cody Rhodes. So the universal reaction to this match.
I just got to say, I was really impressed with The Rock's John Cena outfit. Coming out dressed just like John Cena, I couldn't see him at all.
That's because Dwayne didn't bother to show up to work. But I guess when you're on the board of directors, you don't have to.
Evan, do you want to bring up the...
This was where he needed to show. I'm sorry. Travis Scott has had no vocal presence, has had no point in being there. The Rock actually does. The Rock has a presence. The Rock has a personality. The Rock we identify with. Having Travis Scott come out for a fucking 4-minute long entrance while Cody's selling in the ring. Fuck all. Fuck this whole fucking match. Fuck all of it. I'm sorry. Fuck the 27. No. No. I will have Evan mute you. You interrupt me on this. Fuck the 27 finishers. Fuck the lame ass. Are you kidding? dude, I get you're doing movies now, but you're coming back to main event WrestleMania. At least work off the ring rust this goddamn much. I am so fucking annoyed by this matchup. And then to get to the end, and we don't even get any kind of storyline payoff to it to move forward. To me, this ending was the worst since WrestleMania 27.
I don't disagree with you there in terms of main event to main event comparison.
I definitely think you
So
could definitely
our good friend of the podcast with Dog Johnson sent me this picture. I believe he was out in Vegas. They've got Rock merch. Finally, The Rock has come back to Las Vegas. No, he fucking didn't because he wasn't there. If he was hidden in plain fucking sight.
Wait, did he not do any press conferences or press junkies, whatever?
Yeah,
He
doesn't
was
like WWE. Yeah. Point being, it's in Vegas. With Dog will go to Vegas, and he loves going to Vegas.
Yeah.
Put his name on a
The fact
t-shirt.
that WWE had merch made for Rock makes me believe that something probably came up, and then he could.
That is official WWE merch, isn't it?
It is official.
Yeah.
It was in the WWE shop at the stadium. Yeah.
I just noticed the tag on that. You had shown me the picture before. I just noticed the tag on the collar.
Yeah. To me, so honestly, this match was actually okay by my standards until the Travis Scott stuff.
Yeah,
it was kind of a spot fest in terms of finisher after finisher after finisher.
It also felt like a concert.
Heel Cena doing some dirty tactics. I was fine with it. I've seen a lot of fans online talking about, well, Cena said he was going to ruin pro wrestling. Cena said he's gonna do all these things. We don't get what we want. Fuck that. It's WrestleMania.
I did that.
I'm fine with if he doesn't want to give us what we want. Make that a story point. Fine with it. What I'm not fine with is Travis fucking Scott being a 4-minute long entrance distraction, like Brian said.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it's one of the worst crossroads we've ever seen.
Here, let me put this another way. People still to this day are up in arms over how long it took Triple H to cover Booker T after a pedigree. But the Travis Scott entrance was 20 times as long.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they were doing that because they had to make a concert, but they needed to fill out the quota for it. So they just
bullshit. Look. I'm telling you, I go out with guys. I tell them how to, when we're getting ready for matches and we're ready for the shows. I'm out there talking to these guys, helping to produce segments, saying you need to go out and you need to stand there and you need to pause and you need to do these things. Travis Scott didn't need to stand there and tap his belt 87 goddamn times at the top of the ramp. Dude, come out to the top of the ramp. Look cocky. Tap your belt 3 times. Drop the belt and run to the goddamn ring.
See, I was expecting the weekend or
if you're not actually. Go ahead, Dave.
I was expecting someone Bad Bunny or even the Weeknd to come out and actually do something and actually interfere and stop Travis from getting involved.
I'd be fine with Travis Scott versus Bad Bunny in a match. From what I heard, Travis Scott's actually training to get in the ring and become a wrestler, which is great. I'm fine with him learning the business. That only brings more eyes to the product. What I'm not fine with.
When he took, if you go back and you watch it, when he took the crossroads, when he actually took the bump,
that was sloppy.
It was a solid bump that he took. Okay, he tried to sell it. He tried to sell for Cody.
Cody was the one who fucked up the crossroads, not Travis.
Yeah.
I thought that was Travis. I was like,
I honestly, I would have had Travis Scott just come out on the entrance ramp with his music tapping his belt, and then Cena go for a schoolboy, and I would have rather had it end that way.
If you want to deprive the fans, deprive them of the AA, deprive them of a schoolboy finish.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't think that's been done, at least in recent memory.
Oh, not at Mania, and also, I just got to say, dude, he's kicked you in the balls.
been done.
No. He already kicked you in the balls at Elimination Chamber. You came out the next night and you were like, I'm going to be all buddy and not whip your ass. Cody's lack of aggression through all of this has been very frustrating.
Well, and I think Cody and Cena have both been asked to be tamer for this feud. I think WWE tamping them down a little bit because both of them, it almost seemed like they were just like half-assing it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's
the promo they had against each other on SmackDown was good, with the exception of Cody laying Cena out again. I'm sorry, but the second that this is another one, this is just me, old school wrestling fanning it. Cody lays out and like just leaves Cena laying twice in a row with a crossroads. There's no chance Cena isn't going over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely agree.
You talk about Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins being telegraphed. That was way, like, to me, that was way more telegraphed.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the interesting thing to me was not only WWE choosing to end the main event of both nights with nut shots. It's just lazy writing at that point. There's a million other ways you could have ended that. The reaction. Cena was cheered when he won. Cody was booed out of the building as he was walking up the ring.
See, this was going to happen, wasn't it? It was going to happen.
The fans are turning on Cody because of the way WWE has booked this.
Yeah.
He'll get them back. He is still one of their most popular babyfaces. And I think
it's also the WrestleMania crowd, which is always a bit different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot more celebrities in the audience.
There's some like Cena fans who are still supportive of him and are happy for him winning.
I think most people were just happy he won because that way they'd have to stop mentioning Ric Flair, which is, some people just don't like Ric Flair.
Although I did like Ric's post where he was like congratulating Cena on his 17th win. He just shows.
Well, it's because everybody expected Ric to come out and be like, "Well, it's not 21."
Yeah, he put it like
Flair fan, but
like 2 in this.
He has exhausted my patience in a lot of regards lately too.
Wait, but no, if that means then Charlotte will beat Cena and then we'll have another Flair on top.
That would have been more interesting than the main event we got. Yeah, so overall, I think
sorry, don't mean to step on you, Evan. I think part of my big issue with Mania this year is you had at the end of the night, both nights, you decided not to send the fans home happy. And that was a conscious choice through a card placement and booking. And that really bothers me because while I don't think it's always crucial to send the fans home happy, I do think, you got to have the heels win sometimes. I do think that, especially for WrestleMania, which is usually like where we end feuds and things, I think it's really disappointing that there wasn't something at the end to go home happy on.
Yeah.
I
also think it's more due to the fact that this was a WrestleMania that was following WrestleMania 40 that did have a lot of expectations on this WrestleMania to follow.
I don't disagree with you. It's like I talk about, gotta manage your expectations.
Yeah, so I do think
I definitely that was going to be a sticking point for me. The card pacing, the match placement was like it almost just it's like they wrote all the names for the matches into a fishbowl and just plucked them out for placement.
Yep.
I'm hoping
you're at the beginning of the show.
I'm still hopeful that Triple H is booking especially the reset after Postmania. I mean, Daniel, you spoiled it in the chat, you little son of a bitch. Randy Orton versus John Cena at Backlash. I've already given you my opinion, but I'm going to say it here in front of the world. I think Cena's going to do to Orton what Orton did to him way back in the day. And I think he's going to slap the shit out of the ref.
Yeah.
And then Randy will go for the RKO. Cena will beat him down. Cody will make the save. We're not done with Cody versus Cena. I'm pretty sure Cody's going to chase.
You know what? I don't think we're going to see Cody for a while. I think he definitely takes some time off, and I don't think we're going to see him in Backlash. I think we're not going to see him until maybe SummerSlam.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't watched Raw yet. But yeah, what do you guys think they're going to do with John Cena going forward?
Well, obviously we know now. I mean, this is okay. I don't know if I should say this. I mean, we know now from calculations he's only got 26 dates left.
So a year.
So he's got 26 dates left. So, you know, time is ticking on Cena. So I think obviously we'll have, you know, Randy versus Cena. I think that's the match that can go for a pay-per-view, maybe even 2 if you want to push it to like Money in the Bank. You wouldn't want to push it.
No, absolutely not. Cena's got limited time. We got limited matches to have with Cena. We got a limited time with him. This to me is really, really easy. I have Cena remain heel nonstop through the rest of his run. He holds the title until October. I have him drop it in October to a babyface. Whoever you want to be carrying the title into Mania next year. Then at Survivor Series, I do Team Rock, Cena, Rollins, blah de blah, Travis Scott in the War Games match against the WWE team. Then I head into December, which is going to be Cena's last match. Everybody knows it's Cena's last match. He's challenging again for the title. This is it. If he wins this match, he has no more matches. His threat is 100% realized. He walks away with the belt.
You see, that's
And the babyface retains, puts him down, and that's how I end Cena's career.
You see, I have it differently. I think he will be a face up until SummerSlam, where we will get the rematch between Cody versus Cena. And I think in that match, The Rock will accidentally cost Cena the title. And I think Cody will win 1, 2, 3 with the crossroads, and then there'll be a back and forward. You know, Rock is essentially dissing Cena, saying, "You disrespect me, you disrespect, you know, my authority, my power." Slap Cena, attitude adjustment, face turn, and then we have Team Cena versus Team Rock for the Survivor Series.
You want
Daniel then just looking.
Yeah, right. All you're looking at is I want Cena to be my hero again. That's not like, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. That's not what's best for business. Cena needs to be the bad guy for the rest of his days and go out on his back. When he comes back as a legend in 6-8 months, whatever, everybody will still cheer him. He's still the fucking legend that he always was. I'm not going to be swayed on this at all. And anyone who tells me that they want to are you two fucking bettering me?
No, I'm setting you up.
No.
And anyone,
you fucking
okay, I got you. And anyone who says otherwise, I'm gonna look at them and I'm gonna tell them to do fucking better.
Well, I do otherwise, because I think Cena deserves to be a face.
Do fucking better.
He deserves his happy moment. He deserves his, he's right up into the sun. He deserves to be cheered.
Why? Why?
Why?
Why?
He's cheered later on. He's gonna be a Hollywood star. Like he's cheered.
He's given his life.
Why?
His home.
Why?
Why?
Daniel. This is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do.
Also, merch.
Dan, I am a heel. I am a lifelong heel. I've always been a heel. My character, I've been doing this shit for years. I've always been a bad guy. My entire time I've been a bad guy. You don't understand what it's like to be a heel. You don't. Because here's what it really is, dude. My world champion, this is 100% real. My guy that I was managing just lost the World Heavyweight Championship that he's held for the last year, like 3 weeks ago. And you know what happened? By the time the pinfall got counted, I had been conveniently removed from the ringside area. Because God knows my guy's not going to lose if I'm at ringside. As I'm standing behind the curtain and I hear the pinfall and I hear that roar from the audience and I hear them chanting the new champion's name, you don't get it. You are under the impression that they're all just cheering for Danny Blaze, the new champion, but that's not right. Because the thing is, for him to get that emotional response, he had to have the bad guys do their part. John Cena, he can lay down, he can get pinned, and he can hear the roar of the audience, and he can know that that's for him too, even as the bad guy. We're booing Cena. We're jeering Cena because he's a heel. We're not giving him the go away heat. We're giving him we're doing our part as the fans heat.
Mm-hmm.
You got to understand that aspect of it and understand that Cena is a guy who is about the business. He is about putting other people over. And Cena getting to be on top at the end doesn't help the future of WWE. It doesn't help any future stars get built. It doesn't help the next generation. What the fuck do you think he's really here for? To get his fucking flowers? Fuck you. He'll get his flowers at his Hall of Fame ceremony.
Yep. I guess so. As far as what I want to do with this title reign, I want to flip it on its head. Every expectation we have, I want to flip it on its head. So every bad thing that happened to John Cena throughout all of his title runs, all the shit that happened with Edge, all the shit with RVD, all the shit with Orton, Triple H, I want Cena to do to them or to do their representatives the same way.
So
slap Orton in the face, the ref in the face, get disqualified against Orton. I want him to make Cody Rhodes tap out.
Wait, this means he's going to break Seth Rollins' nose?
Maybe.
I'm down.
And I want him to make Roman Reigns tap out in the STFU. I want him... Every single bad thing, Umaga's not around, but have him face Jacob Fatu or Solo Sikoa. And schoolboy them. Or thumb to the throat. Every conceivable bad thing that happened to John Cena, because his whole thing about this whole thing is not giving the fans what they want, but also teaching them what a healthy relationship should be. Interesting enough, John Cena on one of the interview segments today on the Pat McAfee show, he said that the audience bullied him so hard that he went and got a hair transplant to cover up his bald spot back in November.
For a brief time, I was one of those people, and I'm sorry, Cena.
Yeah, see, Dan, this is all your fault.
Yep, you betrayed your hero. He didn't betray you.
We're getting what you deserve. We didn't do this. You did this.
No, I jumped on the bandwagon like everyone else.
Dan, I gotta. No, I'm sorry. I gotta agree.
Dan, buddy.
I gotta agree with our World Heavyweight Champion, the 17-time champ John Cena. This is really the fault of ungrateful, uneducated marks.
Yeah, Cena was right.
Cena was right.
And who's the biggest?
As a matter of fact, I'm retitling this episode "Cena Was Right."
Yep. I think we'll have to do that. I don't know if I can retitle it on Twitch, but I think we can do that on YouTube.
I can do that on YouTube. I have the technology.
I mean, overall, Cena's been through a lot. Obviously, through 20 plus years in the business. There's just so many memories. I can't even remember all of them.
I know this won't happen, But is there a possibility right at the very end when Cena retires in his final match, we see Finn for one last time?
No. You will never see Vince McMahon on WWE television outside of when it's announced that he dies.
I mean,
Even then, I don't know if that'll happen.
No, they'll play package when he passes away.
Yeah, but like
they did mention him. I mean, well, Triple H did.
Well, yeah, they mentioned Brock Lesnar. They've mentioned, somebody mentioned Chris Benoit recently.
Mentioning something that happened in history is just acknowledging history, but allowing it to go forward after the events is something totally different. Dude, when I was a kid, I watched The Cosby Show.
'Cause you see, Leo.
I ate Jello pudding. Do you think I'm like looking up on Netflix to find The Cosby Show now? No.
No.
I mean, it just
Nope. There's no getting away from this one.
I was gonna say something stupid,
Dude,
like maybe they should introduce him when Vince does start, introduce him into the Hall of Fame. But
all right. So yeah, and then for me, I think if I'm building the business forward for the future, there's so many options you could take with who should retire John Cena. I think we're bringing it full circle. I think Cody Rhodes is the one to put him down in next year's Mania.
I agree.
Not next year's Mania.
You two are say Cody, but I got something different. The Rock.
Why? To feed Dwayne's massive ego?
No.
It's not bad enough he's ruined DC Comics. He has to ruin wrestling too.
And then we're going to have his final
match. That was Cena's promise.
One last time to settle it all. Who is the better man? It's the new Austin versus The Rock.
But no. But,
Again, Dan, the entire you're completely missing it, dude. Like again, this isn't about trying to nostalgia out the past. Look, you know why he's facing. You want to know why Cena's going to face Orton? Because that's a classic match that you want, and we can have that at the beginning. You want to know he's going to face it? I will bet you money that at Money in the Bank, it is John Cena versus CM Punk.
Oh yeah, I can see it being that. Yeah.
I think he's going to go through every one of his classic opponents, and if Rusev's back,
I mean, we can't do Edge, can we? Because I mean, who can we do for Edge? I mean, obviously Edge was one of his classics, but
there's always a like person, the similar character.
I'm trying to. Well,
there's always
similar. Braun Breaker. I mean,
I think Braun Breaker would be a great person to retire Cena too.
Oh, that would be a good spot.
I think personally, Braun Breaker should be the new Legend Killer. I think he should retire Bill Goldberg. I think retiring Cena would be great and fitting.
Hey, we want better Karrion Kross booking. How about we have Karrion Kross and Scarlett be Edge and Lita? If that's the game we're doing, there's your Edge and Lita.
Please don't tell me we're gonna have a live sex celebration. Like,
dude, if I could just do Scarlett and Edge, and I'm down. You don't take this away from me.
I mean, it's not like I said a couple of weeks ago when I said, Tish Stratus have a great tit. So.
And now a word from our sponsors. Bang.
The only erectile supplement endorsed by retired wrestling legend Chris Chaos, the man who brought you mayhem to the ring and assless chaos to the world. Because when it counts, it'll make you HARD.
Every time. Every goddamn.
Could you guys hear that through my headphones?
No, I could not hear the promo. But for anyone, if you couldn't hear it, Our sponsor tonight is Enforce True. Make sure that you go to enforcetrue.com. Enter the code Standards of Greatness 25, and you'll get yourself 25% off of your next order of Enforce True. It will make you as hard as Daniel Roberts' head.
Even I bought some.
It'll make you as hard as Daniel Roberts' hard on for The Rock is.
That's right.
Boing.
It'll make you HARD.
I mean, we have to talk about our topic for next week.
That's our license commitment for the night.
As far as the topic for next week, let's let the audience pick what we do. Let's put it in a poll in the group. Let's look at what happened on Mania on Raw tonight. Let's look at SmackDown. You know, put some feelers out there. See what the audience wants us to talk about. If there's an opinion you want from us, you know, I really want to engage the audience here. You let us know what you want to see. We're happy to talk about it. I believe we also have an upcoming retro episode as part of next week's too, where we all had a Golden Age topic that we needed to do, and I think maybe.
I mean, do we want to announce what we picked, or do we want to vote it off?
You need another 2 weeks, Dan, for your Golden Age what if?
It's nearly done.
Mine's done.
Mine was done like 2 days after we talked about doing it. I heard.
Mine was done after about a week.
Well, obviously, I'll say what mine is now. Mine is going to be, what if Virgil became the IC champion?
Who?
Virgil.
Oh, Virgil. Okay. So Dan's going down the racist wrestling stereotypes rabbit hole.
Mine that you'll be hearing from me is, what if the Mega Powers didn't implode?
And mine will be, what if Vern Gagne and the AWA were the global taking over force? What if it wasn't WWE? What if Vern Gagne and Kurt Hennig and all the crew up in Minnesota and in the Midwest dominated the world? What would the wrestling landscape be like today?
I mean, that would be interesting.
I tried to think outside the box on this one because I have a lot of ideas for what ifs.
I assume he'll probably be in New York, maybe.
We'll find out next week. That's the whole point. He's got the story for you. We'll find out next week, and we'll see you guys next week. Hope you enjoyed WrestleMania. Hope you enjoy Raw tonight. We'll see you next time.
See you guys later.
Yeah.